Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'll be your moderator, Brandon Jones, and joining me this week, panelists Michael Huber.
Shredder's Revenge!
Yes. Just a moment. Just give me 5-10 minutes and then we'll dive in.
Let's go.
Michael Damiani.
A fella chucka, eh?
And my
Yes,
simply
dude.
snappy co-moderator, Daniel Bloodworth.
Snap.
Distinguished guests, we are here to talk about some of the biggest headlines in the world of video games. But before we do that, we must first answer for all of the mistakes that we made last week. Daniel Bloodworth, begin corrections music, please. Maybe Damiani can give me the official answer on this. Twitch kind of has a rule against idle streams. You can't just put nothing in happening for like hours and hours and hours. Is there any penalty for idle streams? Our chat or comments were a bit confused.
Generally seen some companies pull that.
Some
as,
people-
like marketing
Yeah.
stunts,
Some people are not fans of that stuff.
but maybe not for days on end, like they were talking about.
Because we were talking about Snoop Dogg left his stream for just a little bit. I mentioned that 500,000 people were watching that. 500,000 people have watched the archive. That was the total views over the weekend. There were not that many people watching live at the time. At the beginning of Ghost of Tsushima, you can knock Khan down to like a sliver of health, but you can't take him out. There are several videos on the YouTubes there where you can go see people do that. It is grass type, it's not leaf type, but that is a classic Jones Pokemon error. I'll stick to it. I'll do that a couple more times. Thank you. And we got a lot of, no research done here. I'm just going to read these verbatim. We have a lot of Pokemon clarifications and corrections.
Oh, no.
Mr.
here we
Mag
go.
says, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl will not be the first time that content from the third version will be in remakes. Heart Gold Soul Silver did add in some content from Crystal, such as the Battle Tower, updated to the Battle Frontier, and Suicine Side Quest. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire did not add any of the new characters or major plot elements of Emerald, but it did have the Delta episode, which heavily involved the Emerald Box legend Rayquaza. Matthew Coe adds that the Pokemon spin-off games, with some exceptions like Mystery Dungeon, generally don't have two versions, so it wasn't that strange that there aren't two Legends games. I was curious whether it was just Arceus there weren't two. And this one's for you, Blood. Take it or leave it. Zachary Abramo says, fun fact, the title Void TRLM and so on and so forth, Void Terrarium Plus, that sounds like gibberish, is actually coding syntax. Possibly C++, possibly not. Void is a function return type that doesn't return anything. TRLM apostrophes quotations is the function name, brackets as a function call operator, and as a semicolon as end line statement. Plus VER is a trick to add to a variable, usually in, quote, for loops. In this case, it's increasing the version of the game by one with another line, dash 2 slashes. The double backslashes is for commenting on your code with tips for other people, how certain functions work, and basic program formatting. Void Terrarium Plus after the backslashes is the code that is commented out, so you can leave notes without causing errors in your program. Are we all caught up to date? And corrections music, please. Yeah.
Now again, in your own words.
Wah, 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 wah. None of that. Yeah, half of those corrections were not at all in my own words. And neither is this. Let's start this on the right note with some good news, something in video games that we could be proud of or chuckle over. A silver lining for this last week. Crusader Kings 3 has another free update coming soon, which means more patch notes. Here are the highlights.
Hell yeah.
It's now possible to recruit children from prison.
Okay.
Reduced chance of characters randomly contracting lover's pox or the great pox. Imprisoning or executing characters of no particular status, i.e. lowborns, now yields much less tyranny. The Pope will no longer grant himself Rome every year. Fixed the loss of your pet spoon, removing your pet stone instead. Characters under 18 will now hold council props. It's now easier to imprison your own children if they're unfortunate enough to be in your court. Removed the secret tunnel between Churchin and Gomoko, allowing armies to pass through the Kunlun Mountains.
Yes, they
can now
fixed that exploit. Damn.
Brutal. I saw that trending for weeks. You can now send your kid off to university properly and easier. The AI can now occasionally attempt to escape prison. fathers of secret bastards can now realize that they are the father even when the mother is married.
That's I love these. Are
Love
the
how
best
specific it is.
It just,
Yeah.
You see like the Crusader Kings version of Jerry Springer. It's like, and you are not the father.
That's a
Characters,
show idea.
yeah, characters can now rip their shirts off without exposing their crotch.
All right.
And finally, end the Crocopolis. The Croc-apocalypse.
Yes, down with the Crocopolis.
Also, they're adding a winter weather system, a poetry system, and a robust dueling system for free in that update. Also, just for me personally, shout out to Humble Bundle. They raised over $30 million for charity in 2020.
Wow.
Nice.
Go
Very nice.
Humble Bundle. Michael Huber, what should we start off with this week? We got a lot of headlines. What do we
A
want to...
double dose of epicness. 2 game announcements, Brandon Jones, that I just want to dive right into.
Okay,
man.
well, I'm gonna give the
Two.
I'm gonna give the time code to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles:
Okay.
Shredder's
Yep.
Revenge, but
Let's start there.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just jolly vibes all around. I don't know
Yes.
anybody that could feel any sort of way that not positively about what is the spiritual successor to 2 of the best beat 'em ups ever created for any console, arcade or console or otherwise. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. That is just Shredder's Revenge by itself. It's just so hype.
Shredder's Revenge.
Published by Dotemu and developed by
Dotemu.
Dotemu, and developed by Tribute Games. This is 4-player co-op Turtles. Looks like a sequel to the classics. PC we know, and no consoles listed yet, so we don't know if this is going to be like a upscale PS4, Xbox One thing, or if this is going to be coming to new consoles as well. If we're getting this on Switch, seems like we should.
Yeah.
But 2 of the founders of Tribute Games, Jonathan Levine and Justin Sear, previously worked on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, and
Nice.
TMNT, which was a 2007 brawler on the Game Boy Advance that apparently doesn't get as much love as it should, that was published by Ubisoft.
2007 Game Boy Advance period is kind of
Yeah.
nuts.
That's
Yeah.
pretty late.
That's really late.
Yeah.
Tribute was also behind Panzer Paladin, which was recent, and Flint
Oh,
Hook,
yeah.
Wizorb, and Mercenary Kings, if you're
Mercenary
familiar with
Kings.
those.
Yeah, I like that game.
Nice.
Yep.
Yep.
So
and
just-
Flint
yeah.
Hook. It's cool.
Just good
Dude.
vibes all around. I mean, is there anything, Hubert, to say more than that than just like, well, they know who they're making this for, and I think
Yeah.
the people they're making this for are going to like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Dotemu being, involved, coming out after Streets of Rage 4. This is a very similar situation, reviving this classic beat 'em up that means so much to people. So just going off that, like, expectations are already high. I know it's they're not fully developing it, but they're involved. And I also just like the trailer, Jones, getting that classic Turtles song. The vibes are so right.
Being sung by the Faith No More singer.
Yes,
Mike
like
Patton.
incredible rendition. It like the art looks great, and then of course, like right when we see the game, it's 4-player co-op. They end it with throwing a foot soldier like on the screen. They just know exactly what to show, and everything. The little that we've seen, like my faith is fully in their arms.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is it doesn't look weird. It
No.
looks like
Yeah.
it could have been in the arcade after Turtles in Time. Like it just looks right.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these revivals, that's been a concern, just not looking right, and this totally nails it. And man, they tease some good possibilities in there, showing April knowing how to fight
Yeah.
back. So it's like, we already went over this with Hubert to get him hyped. It was like, is April gonna be playable? Is Splinter gonna be playable? Is Casey Jones?
Gotta
like,
be.
what's going on with
Gotta
Shredder's
be.
Revenge, man? I expect everything to be turned upside down in this game, man. What dark thing is gonna go down that we're gonna have to like fight back as other characters?
Yeah, because Streets of Rage 4 had some really cool progression. It was just playing. You would get points, so it was like you didn't have to do anything special. You just play through the game, but every time you beat a level, you would get points that would contribute to unlocking a new character. So you'd unlock all the characters from Streets of Rage 1, Streets of Rage 2, Streets of Rage 3, and then a little surprise at the end as well to kind of culminate all that. So I imagine this might do something similar. I don't know if we're going to get like old sprites of, Turtles in Time
Yeah,
and
that
all
would be
this,
fun.
or just other characters as well, like Dom was
samurai
saying,
versions
Casey
of them or
Jones.
something.
Man, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
good levels teased there, man. Just seeing the Technodrome at the end, I was like, thank you so much. But I mean, I want to see like the turtle van. I want to see the turtle blimp. I want to like a skateboarding. Like, can we get a skateboarding level?
Gotta have a skateboard level.
Yeah, gotta have that.
Surfing.
Yeah, surfing in the sewers, maybe.
Maybe hold back on the water levels. We don't need to do that.
Don't need that. Maybe.
Don't need to swim. Don't need to defuse the dam.
Rocksteady and Bebop better show up more than once.
Huber, I was playing the wrong Turtles game on NES. I was playing that weird van driving, angry video game nerd, the classic episode where it was just
I forget the name of it.
Totally crazy, difficult enemies Turtles. Flying all over the place and
when they brought the arcade game, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game.
That's right. Yep.
Cal DeSormer on Patreon is going even further than Casey Jones. Jenica, Usagi, Rennet.
Usagi.
I don't know any of these names. I know Casey, obviously, but yeah. Do we think that they're going to go nuts? I guess the one thing that could the thing that could easily be the most disappointing about this game is that it's like an hour and 45 minutes, and you're like, oh, I really enjoyed that, but no, that was not very long.
Yeah, I mean, Streets of Rage 4 it was like 3 hours, 4 hours to go through, but just going back and unlocking, that's what you need. You need incentive, and the incentive for that was to unlock the classic characters. So it's like just that nostalgic vibe, getting Axel from Streets of Rage 2 in there.
I could see like moves, like if there are different moves to unlock, kind of thing. Like specials or
like more Scott Pilgrim style, like leveling up and stuff. Bloodworth.
I don't know about leveling up, but maybe being able to like swap out, because like a lot of the times those games, like the button commands are really simple. Like they don't throw a bunch of combos and stuff at you. So rather than like having to learn a whole bunch of stuff, it's just swap out different move sets.
Yeah.
Huber, in a tribute to you and your cautious optimism whenever you see a CG or a pre-rendered trailer, so this pops up on Twitter thanks to Bloodworth. I believe you posted this in Slack. So I see the tweet, and the video has not auto-scrolled yet, so I'm just like, full screen it on my phone. I'm like, okay. It was interesting hovering my finger over that play button, basically just willing it to be exactly what I wanted it to be. I'm like, don't mess this up.
Yeah.
Do what you should do, because you see the still frame of that. I'm like, this looks like what I think it might be.
Yeah.
Don't have some weird art style. Don't have like pixelated backgrounds, but not pixelated character. Okay, play. And then like I'm digging the theme. I'm liking this, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm not seeing gameplay. What is this? And then it just wraps up. And then gameplay, and like, boom! I was just completely, stone-faced, skeptical the whole time. Like, just don't mess it up, don't mess it up. And then you see it, and that's exactly.
Hey, you want one small thing that can improve on?
Yes.
That theme song needs all the like dialogue things thrown back in there.
Oh,
like
sure.
lean on our leads, Donatello does machines. Not so fast, Jack. Raphael is cool but rude. Michelangelo is a party dude. Cowabunga! Like they didn't have any of that stuff in there, and I was like, okay,
that was
you want a little room
clever
for
editing.
improvement?
That wasn't the song, but sure.
That'll be a DLC. Now you unlock it. You unlock the perfect version of the theme song.
Vanilla Ice final unlockable character tribute
with the guys next to him. All the dancers.
Dude, Super Shredder.
I wouldn't be surprised to see like a nod to it, just like in the background, some people on stage.
Yeah,
dude. I want an option to play as Super Shredder and Krang teamed up.
Yes, dude.
Just going through wrecking people as Krang and Super Shredder. Oh my gosh, yes. That should be like the final bonus. I just want to play as Krang.
Dude, Kino.
Dude, Kino
in there, dude.
Like a portal just opens up and like everyone shows up.
He's got his pizza, dude, ready to go.
With Bebop and Rocksteady amassing gizmos to support Krang and Shredder's latest scheme, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge finds the Turtles battling through a breathless tour of iconic TMNT locations to thwart their nemesis' most diabolical plan yet, armed with shell-shocking new abilities built on a foundation of classic brawling mechanics. A foundation of classic brawling mechanics sounds just yoinked right out of a Huber review. Just the gang are in for an exhilarating Foot Clan stomp and romp, leading them through the sewers and bustling boroughs of New York City, all the way to Dimension X.
Yes!
Yes, dude. Let's go. We're going. We're going all the way. Yo, Tatsu better
Rock
show up
soldiers
too.
are going down.
Yeah.
Dude, rock soldiers. So cool.
I kind of don't want to be reminded until like the week before. You know, like this seems like something
Yeah.
where it's like I don't
Sure.
want to know more about it. You know, it's like okay,
Yeah.
put it on the list. Let us know. It's obviously when we're figuring out our group streams for the month, somebody will mention like, hey, that's in 3 weeks. And we're like, it is what? You know, and that's when I want to hear about this.
Love
again.
it, Jones. Video games are the freaking best. In a matter of couple weeks, we're getting an Alien game. We're getting a Turtles game. Life is Strange is back on the menu.
Yeah.
Things are looking up.
Will we get coupon codes for Domino's in this game?
Dude,
Weren't they always
some
teamed with
pre-order
Pizza Hut?
incentive?
I thought Ninja Turtles teamed up with pizza, at least in like the original movie, wasn't it?
There better
that?
be.
Like there was a promo thing back when the original movie came out as a kid. Like they're doing like pizza stuff. Like man,
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Blood, you got a game for us.
I got a game for you.
oh,
What prompted that? What was the inspiration for the
Just Ninja Turtles, man. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Ninja Turtles, man? I don't know. There it is, Huber. There's the how do you? I'm sorry, just a quick story. When I was in college, we had a meeting for everybody at freshman year, everybody in the dorm on the floor. We all got together with the resident and just met each other and was like, okay, let's just like, just say something random about yourself, who your hero is. And one person was like, my hero is the guy who created Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because that's all he's ever done. Why would you?
Dude.
It was like Peter Mayhew playing Chewbacca. It's like, done. That's it. That's I've been to the moon. Now I'm finished.
Seriously.
He just goes to conventions and collects checks. It's just one of those things that everybody's got their favorite turtle. Everybody just loves this
Yeah.
franchise. I can't believe it's
It's
been this
so
long
awesome.
until we got the end of this trilogy finally.
Well, the good thing is I can tell that everybody on this panel is passionate about turtles, loved turtles growing up.
Yeah.
So what I've got here,
Growing up, yeah. It's been a while.
I've got 10 characters that were toys from 1988 to 1992.
Okay.
I'm going to test your memories, right?
Okay.
So, and I'm going to be keeping score as well. So, like for a test round, right? So, if I say Rocksteady was a...
Oh, right. Was
Toy?
Rocksteady the rhino?
There's a rhino.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
rhino.
what it
Bebop's
was.
a
yeah,
pig.
what,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Like what
Warthog.
it was
Bebop's a
mutated from, what
warthog,
kind of
right?
creature.
Got
then
it.
was-
Okay. Bioweapons.
what it came from. Yeah.
Got it.
So if you can remember these names, I'm gonna. The first couple are little softballs.
Dude,
but
is-
then
Yeah,
we'll
that's the only
ramp
one
it
I'm
up.
getting, by the way. Just FYI.
Is Rocksteady a bioorganic weapon?
is there an umbrella crossover in the future with Ninja Turtles?
I mean, the ooze, dude. Like, we're dealing with bioweapons.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to bring up, I made sure that these are all things that like I looked at all the toys and like made sure like I actually remembered these things and not
Okay.
like some obscure thing that they sold 10 of at a Comic-Con somewhere or something. So,
Right.
so whoever hops in fastest with the answer that I hear first. All right, so first one, softball, Usagi Yojimbo.
The
Bunny.
bunny. Oh, Damiani beat it
Damiani.
by a second.
Yep.
Got the action figure in my closet.
Leatherhead.
Crocodile,
shit, damn.
alligator.
Yeah.
You corrected yourself, alligator for sure, because of Louisiana.
I'm just gonna watch this from afar and enjoy it.
Slash.
Snapping
No,
turtle.
that's damn it. Slash is sick.
Wingnut and Screwloose.
Bad and
Yeah, I don't know this.
don't remember the
squirrel.
other one.
Bad and
A hedgehog. A lombax.
oh, Lombax. Yep.
Oh,
I don't know this one.
oh no.
I think I'll give it to Damiani because he at least was on the right track. It's
Yeah.
a bat and a mosquito.
Mosquito.
Oh gosh. Oh, what?
Scumbug.
What the heck?
These are deep cuts.
Scumbug. Not like a
Like a lizard
beetle?
or a snail or a slug or a worm.
Not even close. Scumbug was a roach.
Roach. Dude, I gotta look up a picture of
Who's the
Scumbug.
the scientist, like Baxter Stockman or something?
Baxter Stockman was a
dude.
fly, yeah.
He was a fly. Yeah, okay.
He was in the trailer, too. Huber, you ready? I don't want you to be distracted.
Scumbug, dude, I think I have this one.
No, goodbye, Huber.
Scumbug.
Ordering it now off eBay.
Dude, Scumbug is just like William
Put the phone
Birkin
down. Your phone's
vibes.
during the trivia game. Come
William
on.
Birkin, dude.
Hands up.
Okay.
Okay. Dirtbag.
Tommyani, man, help me out here. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just say like a raccoon maybe, or like a possum.
Dirtbag.
I
A pig.
don't know, a slug?
It's a mole.
Oh, classic.
Something worms. Yeah, that make,
I could see, imagine like a pointed nose. Yeah. But
Yeah.
okay.
Walkabout.
ostrich.
Hell. Peacock. I don't know. I don't know.
Kangaroo.
Of
Oh,
course.
kangaroo.
Gosh.
They're
Dude.
dangerous, man.
Don't know these.
They're dangerous.
yeah.
They got their own martial arts style.
Hothead.
Oh my god, I know this one.
That is
Oh my god. No, I thought I knew it. I don't know it.
not a lizard.
Yeah, like a salamander maybe.
Hothead.
I might give it to Jones. Hothead,
Salamander?
it's a dragon,
Dragon.
but
Dragon.
Okay.
yeah.
Komodo.
Jones,
Well, I
Dragon.
mean,
Nice.
dragons aren't real, so
I was thinking
what
Komodo
kind of
dragon.
Yeah.
That's the word I was trying to
world
figure
are we
out.
Yeah.
talking about?
Sorry.
Here?
I didn't know dragon. I was trying to think of Komodo.
Really, pushing the bounds of reality there, TBH.
Mona Lisa.
What?
Oh, obviously a person. No, I'm just
Yeah.
You got me.
A chameleon.
Great
That's
guess.
close enough. That's close
Okay.
enough. It's a lizard.
Oh, okay.
Love
a lizard.
that. Love that.
Mona Lisa.
Nice, nice.
All right. And Muckman.
It's just mud, just a pile of mud.
Muckman. Slime. Ooze.
It's literally just the
Yeah.
ooze.
Then an animal class ooze. Man, muck rolls around in the muck.
Brandon, was that a guess or is that a?
What do you guess?
It's a little
Mud.
just a
Like,
pile
is
of
that
mud.
like a legit answer? Or?
Slime or mud.
Yeah.
It's kind of close.
Getting
I don't think I'd
Clayface
give you the
vibes.
point, but it's
Okay.
he's literally trash.
Oh, okay.
Trash. Literally trash. Garboger.
Trash. All right. Oscar the Grouch. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never think about
But, yeah, I
Pokemon
think
too much, but
Damiani did the best on those.
Nice, Damiani. How many of these? How many of these are going to show up in the game? I wonder.
All of them.
You got to
Yeah.
reference these in real
I
time.
would be
Every
amazed
single
if
Yeah.
most of these are in the game.
And more. Dude, we're gonna get like a Casey Jones brother cameo.
But looking through the list of toys, it's amazing how many were just like the turtles again, but in different costumes. It's
I
like
know, so
Donatello
many.
in a trench coat, and like
Yeah.
Michelangelo in a sailor's costume. And then they did like mutations where they like you could actually like transformer them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, have they had literally the most amount of redesigns for any one given cartoon property in like the history of
Feels like
entertainment?
it.
I can't think of
don't
anything
know.
else. Like, even like Mickey Mouse. Like, I don't know about that many versions because it's like it wasn't like every time it wasn't just like, oh, we just because people are drawing Mickey Mouse like on a T-shirt or whatever, and like boom, there we'll make money on that. But like every time their style was reintroduced, it was like new voice actors, new storyline, new new arc. And it's just crazy that like in like the voice actor world, it's like, well, I was Raphael in that one thing, but then I was Leonardo. You were Raphael that one? Oh no, you were Donatello. But then the other guy was, it's like Skylanders. It's like we've all been turtles, at some point.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just love when nostalgia is modernized again, like Streets of Rage 4. It's just such a special thing, Like all you guys grew up with Turtles, we all did, and it's just like being able to play a modern game that has modern sensibilities and feels good and looks cool, and while also tapping into that youth that our childhood and what we grew up with. It's cool.
When that title slapped onto the screen
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the theaters,
yeah.
when I saw that live action thing, I remember
Yeah.
that was like the earliest I can go back to like a legit Beatles moment. To like Damiani, it was like the kid in the second episode of Avatar where he's like, like foams at the mouth. Like, we didn't know what to do with ourselves. Like, we didn't even know. Like, you're not even sure why you're excited. You're like, you know.
Like that moment and freaking seeing Home Alone for the first time. Like, it's like being a kid when Home Alone came out was like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I made my parents disappear. Thank you for that, Blood.
That's good, bud.
I was awful at that, but I had a wonderful time.
Same. Gotta refresh my Turtles lore.
Well, what's the other game, Huber? I legit don't know. And not even, and also this week, I don't think I have a game announcement. What are we talking about?
An announcement to an announcement. Confirmation. Square Enix.
Oh, Life is Strange.
Oh,
Life is Strange.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, yeah.
Announcing the announcement, the pre-announcement.
And confirmed, though, new cast, new powers, new story. So that has been revealed by them, which seems like the only way to really go, because the game has, choices. So how would you revisit, the old characters depending on which choices?
Do 3 to 5 years, and then Don't Nod's got to come back and bring it all together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right, and then
Planting seeds.
Then they do the beat 'em up, because you're talking about powers, like that'd be really cool. You have somebody.
Life is Strange beat 'em up, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chloe just like drawn and stuff. So I'm there. I'm into it.
Something else happened this week. That hasn't happened yet. That's an announcement of an announcement. This was an announcement of a conclusion, something that we knew was going to happen, but is now official. And when this was first, not necessarily teased, but announced that this was going to be happening, we didn't dive into it as much as I saw other channels, podcasts, and the like dive into it. And now is the time. Officially, as of right now, and maybe just a couple days ago, Xbox officially owns Bethesda, specifically ZeniMax Media, but Bethesda being within that ZeniMax umbrella. And Phil Spencer had some stuff to talk about. His initial comment, one of them was, with the addition of the Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. Some new titles. I don't know if he knew how explosive that was going to be. A lot of people had more questions about that. And then he was in a roundtable discussion today, on Thursday, before we recorded this podcast, where he said maybe some other things that Blood wants to add, but the jewel that I grabbed from it is we have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to support those games on the platforms that they're on. There are communities of players. We love those players, and we're going to invest in them. I believe him. Yes, there's going to be exclusives, but I don't know, maybe it's just Phil, maybe it's just kind of like his general attitude, but I believe that's something that they find value in, that they want, they said last fall Ghostwire and Deathloop will remain PlayStation 5 exclusives. I think they see the benefit in people anticipating things that are already going to happen, and they don't want to rock the boat too much. Anything else, Blood, that he mentioned at the roundtable today that stood out to you?
Well, what was interesting with the roundtable is, they kind of said this up front, that this wasn't about news. This is just kind of about getting everybody in the room together and talking through what's happening in this merger. And yeah, it's definitely the exclusive thing. As soon as that hit, everyone was kind of reacting to it, and it's funny because I'm surprised that you're surprised kind of moment. It's of course these games are going to be exclusive. That's why they bought such a gigantic company. But yeah, and then there's those things that are just going to make sense to keep where they are, like Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76, and and games that they've already made those commitments to. But I think I ended up getting my breakfast and watching through this thing.
Cozy.
And yeah, it wasn't a big deal or anything, except it made me feel a lot better about the whole situation in a way, because I was just sort of feeling, with all these acquisitions and stuff, it does still to some level bum me out that we're the industry is just sort of getting smaller. The companies are getting bigger and there's fewer big brands out there doing their own thing. But what was sort of encouraging is just to see, number one, Microsoft's approach to we have as much to learn from them, as they could learn from us, and just being excited to work with id and getting, how do we make our guns feel like a Doom gun, and how do we get that tech into our games, into our other games and stuff like that.
Yeah, that collaboration. That's a great point. Collaboration.
That was so interesting to hear because people were saying that maybe like its tech will be Microsoft might be leaning more on that. Potentially, for their future projects. Hell, even some of it might even end up in
Halo.
In Halo, help out there. Yeah.
Seriously, just consultant.
Yeah, just. Yeah, like when Microsoft comes to help open world Nintendo games, it's like the FPS savior.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you need some massaging on this? Like BioWare, you need some help? Hey,
totally.
it'll come help you too. You want some help?
Yeah.
But what I think is really interesting.
They're on EAs, by the way, sorry, my bad. Correction.
What I think is really interesting though is maybe the biggest thing that they could learn from Bethesda is how to integrate these teams into their teams, because a lot of what they went over was Bethesda's history over the last 12 years of acquiring all these other studios, right? Because like before, it was just Bethesda game studios, but they got id and they got Tango Gameworks and they got the Arcane Studios.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And
don't forget about Tango.
Oh, jeez, Damiani, don't say it out loud.
Well, didn't Phil Spencer also? Yeah, sorry, he just said something about like they're going to be very important for like our foothold in Japan or something.
Well,
so,
that's
you're not like completely abandoning it.
Honestly, anytime this is all brought up, the only thing I'm ever thinking about is Tango Gameworks. And if this gets the Evil Within 3 closer to a reality, then I'm all for it.
Right.
Because
count on it.
Because like going into Ghostwire Tokyo, it feels like really high stakes for Tango. Like just the whole vibe of that franchise, of that studio is like they're hanging on. Like that's just my perception. That could be completely false. But just like Evil Within to me always should have been bigger than it is. So I just feel like there's high stakes going with Ghostwire. But
do you think Ghostwire could be a runaway hit, Huber? Or do you think it'll just be
I think so.
Oh yeah,
I think it could go either way. I think it could go either way, Jones.
Yeah.
But I just wonder, what this means for them, because it felt like they were kind of separate from Bethesda in a way. It was like Bethesda and id and everyone, and then Tango Gameworks.
No, they totally are part of the team.
No, now
Mikami's rocking a little beard.
Post Microsoft acquisition, absolutely.
Yeah, consider it confirmed, Huber.
But no, it's interesting though, Huber, just the amount that they were talking about collaboration already within Bethesda among the different groups. Because like, did you know that Tango Gameworks like created a character for Doom? Like,
what?
So cool.
No idea
what?
about
Had no idea.
Yeah.
That's the sickest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And they're talking about like when Machine Games, started working on Wolfenstein, like they went and they like stayed at the id offices for like 3 weeks. And
nice
Arcane, and they're just talking about like all of these different things of like how their teams, like other studios are working on other people's games, and that's the kind of collaborative effort that I think that they're probably going to start bleeding more into across Microsoft as well. And they both talked about how both companies, they have what I think Bethesda called it their midwinter meeting, and then Microsoft called it their best meeting.
Wow.
Where basically they just like get all the studio heads together at a once a year or a couple of times a year and show what everybody's working on, and then they just start talking and learning from each other and stuff like that.
Nice.
That's got to be a spark to creativity for sure. Just exciting. I bet it's so exciting. And just all those studios you mentioned, Arcane, Machine Games, id, Bethesda, Tango. This is so big when you just say them all in a row like that. Those are some of the biggest developers and some of the biggest franchises, some of the most critically acclaimed.
I will be super stoked. Sorry, correction from earlier. So I meant I want to see id working with the initiative on Perfect Dark. Like that would be like, man, because Perfect Dark was like landmark for like FPS on consoles before Halo came out. It was like GoldenEye got a lot, but then Perfect Dark, and then like that misstep was zero. Like I know everyone's hyped about the new Perfect Dark, and I trust the initiative, but man, like even having like id just lending some like tech and just like some consulting work I just want it to be like perfect that game. Like I want it to be like
get Arcane in there to design some skills.
I would think more Arcane, because it's typically like really fast,
Guns,
just lots of
Arcane.
juggling and movement.
See
and
with
like Perfect
Perfect
Dark's
Dark.
very. It's such a deliberate game. It's very much like
I don't know. I kind of
sneak
want
and
some like
vents,
Speed
little
to
Deus
Perfect
Ex
Dark.
vibes, kind of.
I don't know. With all the cool guns and stuff in that game, and like the spy stuff, I think you need to be like fast and stuff. Like
Both.
I don't
Tell me,
know.
Ernie.
Yeah, and like Arcane also has that too. So, man, you're good with the possibilities here. This actually is pretty exciting, and
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they said like Xbox and PC. As long as they keep saying the and PC part, I'm very, very happy about that.
I can see that side of the backlash. Unfortunately, console wars still stupidly exist.
Here's the other.
Because some people, not everyone can afford every system or get a PC or an Xbox or anything. But to like willfully say I'm not getting an Xbox out of spite and because I'm loyal to this brand is silly. But I do understand, if you can only choose one, this further splinters the game library of if you choose one versus the other.
So Huber, you not in the mood to do my next gen console war Bethesda Xbox Gauntlet right now?
I'm always down.
Gauntlet.
I'm always down.
Because we didn't do this before. We could have talked about this because we heard about this acquisition and we did discuss this. But I'm looking at 10 franchises here. And of these 10 franchises, the three of you need to pick at least 3 franchises that are stone cold exclusive to Xbox PC and nothing else ever. Okay. And these are locked in terms of what the next big game is going to be. So when I say Doom,
got one.
that means whatever is after, I
do want to point out one nuance of something, the way he worded that exclusive thing.
Please do.
Oh, yeah.
Platforms that Game Pass will be on.
And he said,
Switch.
he's like,
come to Switch.
Switch.
That's what I mean.
Game
Like if we could get Game Pass onto something else, like I highly doubt they could ever successfully get Game Pass to play over a PlayStation or anything.
That would be so confusing.
Yeah, it's such a funny way of putting that.
Not this generation, at least.
It's like, what Xbox console version am I playing on what PlayStation system am I playing?
God, my brain
am I
hurts,
playing
Jones.
a Series X game on my PS4? Like, whoa. So you got to decide. So we are the executives. We're at this greatest meeting that Xbox has ever had, which I'm sure the words Game Pass were said like 80 billion times. They actually said in their statements, they're like, Bethesda understands Game Pass. They're in. They're excited about these concepts. So some of these might not have sequels that are planned. Some of these might not be franchises that you think are going to, get a sequel like Evil Within. But we're imagining that they could. We are the ones that get to make that happen. If you think that Evil Within is going to actually bring in people and sell Xboxes,
I do. That is my number one. Honestly,
you're locked in Evil Within. That's
hear me out. Hear me out with Evil Within 3. A huge survival horror exclusive. Resident Evil's multi-plat. If this is the only place you can play Shinji Mikami's final effort, full circle, directing Evil Within 3, this is actually it, closing it out. I mean, you make this a can't-miss game.
Yeah,
you can't miss this.
Microsoft's going to leave him on a deserted island when they're done. We know for a fact he's not making any more games.
I feel like, the newer Resident Evils have made people kind of slightly forget the potency of Shinji Mikami, unfortunately.
Ouch.
Like, RE is doing just fine now.
But Evil Within is so good.
I'm not questioning the goodness of it. I'm just saying, the buying power.
I saw the first one's coming to Game Pass. Like, you start hyping these up, you make it important. You show people the way. You shine a spotlight on it.
Do you agree, Bloodworth or Damiani, that Evil Within should be one of these ones we're locking in?
I hear the others because I know one that absolutely should be in there.
What's the one that should be in there, Damiani?
The Elder Scrolls, 100%.
Oh, of course.
Elder Scrolls 6,
yes,
are we locking it in?
That's 100. That is your number one priority right there.
You are never playing Elder Scrolls 6 on your PlayStation 5.
You'll never.
Yep.
That is like what this deal is. That deal is absolutely
100%. And Fallout.
And Fallout, yeah.
Yep.
It's like those two are never going to be on PlayStation again.
I mean,
you hold them hostage.
Right there. These
hold those hostage and
yeah.
People, 1,000 a day, 10,000 a day, people will pay it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was like washing the dishes, and Amanda was in the kitchen, and I'm like, "There's this one Jurassic Park quote that it just is never a bad time to throw it in.
Never.
It just perfectly encapsulates everything we think of the possibilities of this industry." So Starfield, multi-platform, everybody get Starfield. Yeah,
Starfield, I think will be
Starfield
New
for
IP.
masses.
No,
Yeah,
that's exclusive.
yeah, it's not.
You only
gonna-
get 3. You want more? You want more blood? Everything's exclusive. What's not
Only
exclusive?
3. The exceptions are going to be the things that are not exclusive.
What about Doom? Is that exclusive?
I mean, if you
Yes.
like, if we're just going by numbers,
Doom
you know,
on PlayStation.
yeah, if we're going by
Yes.
numbers, if we go by numbers and hype, it's obviously Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Doom, top 3, no question. If those are exclusive to Microsoft, like, I don't know, dude. Like, people, I feel like that might have been holding out on an Xbox, or maybe, you know, they might change their mind. Like, those are huge franchises.
I could see them in some way potentially doing like really late ports, like they did with Doom on Switch or whatever, but
Sure.
I kind of don't think so.
So-
I think these things are going to be exclusive.
So you're correcting Phil Spencer in saying not some new titles, most new titles. You think that's maybe a little closer to
I
the
mean,
truth?
what he pretty much said was, it sounded like unless they already have a contract or it's a live service game, it's probably going to be exclusive.
Like, why would you spend, $7.5 billion to have PlayStation get Elder Scrolls? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all.
It's like like the
You
older,
drop that cash so you get people, like, if you like Elder Scrolls, you have to buy an Xbox now or a gnarly PC. You have to do it. Just like gamers will do that. I will follow certain franchises anywhere. You put Evil Within on anything, I'm buying it. You put Doom on anything, I'm buying it. Like, these franchises are tried and tested. They've been around forever. They're some of the biggest in the industry, and you lock them up. Price of doing business.
Skyrim was on everything. There's every
Yep.
console that ever existed got Skyrim, and they're
I'm
looking
not
at
saying,
that.
I'm not
they're
saying I
looking-
like it or
they're
don't like
looking
it.
at
I'm
that
just saying
bottom line. They're
it's,
like, we don't want that money. We don't
Well,
want
I mean, I think as long as
we
yeah.
would rather
It's a
make
different person making the money
we
now.
would rather sell
Yeah.
more Xboxes than make more money.
I feel like something like that. I feel like they know that if people don't have an Xbox, they have a PC, and people have a PC. Some people have a place. Some people have a PlayStation. Also have access to
Yeah.
PC gaming. So
Yep.
we're still gonna. I think in their minds, they're still capturing a large percentage of that
Yep.
market.
totally PC.
By like axing out PlayStation, because they're forcing people, even if they won't mitigate or migrate over to Xbox with a brand new purchase by already having a PC, we got their money for that at least. We got their
Right.
software or their Game Pass subscription.
We also don't know the full extent of the plans for xCloud, and as that develops, again, anything that Game Pass is on. So
Yeah.
if you have a weak PC but you have a decent internet connection, then
Yeah,
you could
sure.
get Game Pass and play this thing. Because we're talking about games that are years away.
yeah,
So
years away.
Blood, you just bought all these crazy franchises. You make a new Dishonored? Do you make you,
Oh,
you tell
yeah.
Arcane like, yeah, Deathloop's fun, but like, yeah, that's everyone's got this kind of multi-platform, or dare I say, a Sony attachment to this franchise.
I mean, the thing is I
We're gonna-
don't
that
need
was fun, but-
Arcane to make more Dishonored. I just need them to keep making those games like they make.
Sure.
So
Can I, yeah, like, silver lining here, just bringing up these franchises, guys, like, to me, this is a good thing, I feel like, because now you're getting the full backing, the full weight, the full flex of Microsoft money, you know? So I feel like these franchises can live on now. Like, Dishonored, I don't want to see Dishonored go away. I don't want to see The Evil Within go away. Like, I don't want to see Wolfenstein go. I want to see these franchises continue on. And if it takes exclusivity to do that, I think that is a fair price.
I could definitely see Wolfenstein going on. That seems like a mainstay for sure.
Definitely,
I don't think
definitely.
we've
Yeah.
seen the
Yeah.
last of
Well,
that
I
at all.
mean,
Definitely.
they even said like
100%.
they love the variety and the breadth of all of these different studios and the different things that they make. So like that to them for Game Pass, like that's a selling point.
Enough to make another Rage? Do they love it that much? Enough to make
Rage.
enough to make a
I
sequel to
think-
Prey,
That one.
or make yet another new Prey. I just want a new game called Prey,
Prey-
every
Prey
10
was
years.
cool.
Just
Yeah.
just try it
Maybe.
again. You know, just have it be.
Yeah.
It's like Black Mirror, just its own
Something
weird thing every
weird.
time.
I think Prey and Rage are kind of in the exact same boat, Jones, where it's like we don't need any more, but do we give it one more shot? And if so, which one? Do we make one more Rage or do we make one more Prey? What do we do? What say you, Jones?
I would make another Rage.
Go again.
Yeah, just because I think just
The Rage was outsourced, right? Avalanche did that.
right.
Avalanche.
I would. I just think it has more of just a broader appeal than a Prey. I didn't play Prey. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. I did never got around.
It's
Not
cool.
the OG or the new one.
Well, it'll be on Game Pass soon.
It's cool.
Then there's that other thing, Michael Huber, that Machine Games is doing, where they kill Nazis. The fedora on. Is this exclusive?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Is
Oh
this
my
exclusive
God!
to Xbox?
Video
Am I-
games are
Huber,
the
am I-
freaking
Huber,
best.
Am I Huber? Can you only play me on Xbox?
7.5 billion says yes, Jones.
No. That's already on a contract.
Yeah, probably some movie
Get a new
licensing.
graphics
Yeah.
card. Dun,
Yeah,
dun,
spread
dun.
that, spread that everywhere. What? Oh my God, Jones! What do you do? Do you go Origins, Indiana Origins? Do you go like old veteran Indiana Jones, but maybe like flashback missions to his early days? Where do we pick up with Indiana Jones in this game?
Not his first adventure. His first adventure after teaching. So like he's kind of settled down now.
Okay.
He's got
love it.
he's got tenure.
Perfect answer.
He's brought onto a school and he's like, okay. And then like Brody finds him and it's like, okay, we have to do it. And he's like, Brody, I can't. Maybe later, but not right now. I got a job. I
that
can't
Marcus
leave.
friendship, yeah.
And so it's him. Like you're getting letters from the school. Like, where are you? You're supposed to be back. We've had to fill in somebody for you. Like, just that. Like, even like on a really delicate Spider-Man level of just this, like, is this my life now? Am I just going to do this forever, or should I stop
Yeah.
at some point? And this is kind of getting dangerous, It'd be
Do we
interesting.
know when information about that will be revealed? What do we know about that?
Oh,
Nothing,
not
right?
this- not
Just
this
that
year.
it's
I
coming.
don't think so.
Just that it exists.
We're not getting more
Yeah.
development on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so if you're blood, it's all exclusive.
Yeah,
It's a real simple
same.
answer.
Same, Damiani.
Yeah, probably not even this year that we'd see the game.
Yeah.
No way. Not based on that.
Exciting
trailer.
though.
That trailer
Don't you
was
love that?
Yeah, that trailer was almost identical to that first Avengers trailer, and it was a long time before that thing came back.
I love like the oven. Like we always say, let it cook, but it really is like Indiana Jones. Like we're putting this delicious thing in the oven that we're not gonna like come back to for years. Like it's there, it's cooking.
Defrosting it right now. You took it out
Yeah.
of the freezer. and just getting it ready to cook.
You took it out of
Love
the
it.
fridge.
We're like watering a plant, like same thing. Like it's growing, it's coming. Seed has been planted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just gonna be interesting to see because everything that I've played from Machine Games, Huber, has been so bonkers. It's just been so crazy over the top.
Yeah, they go for it.
NPCs and cutscenes just get right up into the camera, and just like either
They know how to kill Nazis. That's for
ping-ponging
sure.
so fast between jokey moments and really serious, like weeping moments.
Yeah.
And it's like none of that really resonates indie for me. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they're excited about that challenge or if they're gonna have some issues just in terms of pacing, third person versus first person.
You would imagine
it's
Nazis,
the perfect
right?
developer, but such a weird. Oh, of course, come on now.
Yeah, like both
Yeah.
they have a history, and Indiana Jones has a history.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's like, time to bring out my swastika.jpg. Here we go. Let me just
I
throw
would
that in
love Jones. I would love a Temple of Doom style arc in this game. Doesn't have to be the whole game. It doesn't have to be the entire theme of it. But just like give me some
there. Sure, there will be.
some dark temple vibe.
He will have like an office that the more you go through the game, you'll collect stuff. Because you never had that in Uncharted. Like you would have your list of like, I found that little idol and stuff, but like that was just in a menu. Like you couldn't go back to like Drake's house and you'd see it up on the shelf. Like that'd be cool if you like keep going back
Lego
to his
Indiana
office.
Jones.
Of
That'd be
course,
so
yes.
cool.
Well, Lego's doing so many things, way ahead of everybody else in the industry. But and it'd be fun if even before you go collect those things, you can just like Easter eggs galore. You can just see like the Shankara stones and
That'd be so cool.
some fun stuff around there. Because that's Temple of Doom. You could do that easily. That was very early on. You can unlock his tuxedo. Yeah. We could talk about Indiana Jones for the rest of this podcast, but we won't. Any Indiana Jones trivia for us, Blood, before I move on? Any? No?
Yeah, you got some action figures.
Good. Yeah.
What are they?
I did have some. And now, a word from our sponsors. Good news for you listening at home, for me, for the entire Easy Allies. Daniel Bloodworth has acquired the Logitech G Pro X Super Light Wireless Gaming Mouse. Let's see it. There it is.
Nice.
There it is.
That looks. Oh, I need a new mouse. That looks great.
Yeah, it's funny because it's actually, my old mouse is Logitech as well, but it's like much smaller because it's more like a travel mouse.
Show off.
Nice.
So I'm just getting used to like, oh yeah, this is like ergonomically probably better for my hands. But light, it's one of those things that it feels like a mock-up. Like it feels like it's just the empty shell of a mouse, right. But it's like
the store model.
Works fine.
All we have left is the store model. Do you want to purchase that? Yeah, I definitely felt like, wait, sure there's got to be something heavy I got to put in this thing to get it to work. But very light mouse, and you already got it. What is it? 24 hours, 48 hours? How long have you been in operation with this mouse so far?
I grabbed it this weekend, so yeah, a few days. Been looping with it. Loop Hero.
Yeah, Loop Hero.
Loop Hero, nice.
Yeah, I wish that game wasn't as good as it is. I was like, oh no, I don't. It's so easy to have it in the small window in the corner while I'm like working on the podcast or anything. If you notice, my research is a little light on this episode. Loop Hero might be to blame for that.
Curse of the Dead Gods too. Don't sleep on that. Loop Hero's getting all the buzz, but Curse of the Dead Gods also amazing. Just want to make sure people don't sleep on it.
All right. All of those things and more you can play with this mouse. The Logitech G Pro X Super Light Gaming Mouse is designed with the world's leading pros to engineer the world's best competitive gaming mouse. Full disclosure, Blood's doing lots of spreadsheets on this, okay? Blood's answering lots of emails.
Yep.
Blood's maybe an Amazon purchase here or there, but he will, once we get the strong performance, the strong leaderboard placement from Bloodworth, we will report back. With hyper minimal redesign, Pro X Super Light is our lightest and fastest pro mouse ever, weighing in at under 63 grams, almost 25% lighter than standard pro wireless mouse. Zero misses. Logitech G exclusive Hero 25K sensor provides unrivaled precision, speed, and consistency. Pro X Super Light delivers extreme accuracy and ultra-fine control for complete confidence, especially during the intense split-second moments of tournament play. Powered by Lightspeed, Pro X Super Light is our fastest and most reliable pro mouse yet, and is available in black and white. For a limited time, Logitech G is offering our listeners express shipping at logitechg.com. Use code EasyAlliesFreeShip37. That's all one word, EasyAlliesFreeShip37 for express shipping today. That's express shipping for all Logitech G products with promo code EasyAlliesFreeShip37. Hurry now, since the promo code expires in 3 days. And if you are not getting this podcast early, you have a matter of hours. Go get that, and you can be as slick and cool as Daniel Bloodworth. And it's nice because it's wireless too, so you can just hold it up. You don't have to wait a minute. Hold on. Gotta unplug all this stuff. Again, logitechg.com, Easy Allies Free Ship 37. I've been abnormally excited to talk about this because this is a property that's been sponsoring our podcast for a while. I've talked about conceptually what it would be like to use this product. And now I have, folks. You upgrade your apps every day, your wardrobe every season, and your phone every year. But when have you ever upgraded the way you poop? My butt is clean, folks. Clean! And let me actually tell you, I'm going to take this in a direction that you're not expecting. And I'm sure you're expecting maybe lots of different potential ways that this conversation could go. I want to shout out Tushy's, Hello Tushy specifically, their customer service, because I love the house that we just recently acquired, but it was owned by people who had lots of European products. We got a European oven, we got a European washing machine, lots of interesting, fun things and adapters like to deal with, and they had a toilet that was not like the perfect toilet for Hello Tushy. And so we contacted them. We're like, hey, these screws, aren't necessarily working. This stuff doesn't work out. And it was not because they recognized us from, of course, the wildly popular Easy Allies podcast. We were just Joe Q Consumer, and they said, hey, you need some extra screws? There you go, free of charge. Sent it out. We got it from Tushy. We were able to finalize all that stuff. And Amanda and myself have been washing our butts for the last week, and it is It's just wonderful. It's just, there's so many things that you do in the bathroom where the bathroom should be a place of rejuvenation. It should be some place that you walk out of feeling better than you did when you walked in. And man, it really does change things. It's nice. It's a bit shocking at first, I gotta admit. The future of toileting has arrived. Okay, it's technically been around for centuries, but hideously expensive, costing thousands. Now, the brand new Hello Tushy 3.0 modern bidet attachment is here to level the playing field. It is stylish, eco-friendly, easy to install, that is true, and affordable. Hello Tushy 3.0 doesn't just cleanse your butt with a precise stream of fresh water. It cleanses itself before and after it's used with the Smart Spray automatic self-cleaning nozzle. It attaches to your existing toilet, requires no electricity or additional plumbing, and cuts toilet paper use by 80%. So the Hello Tushy bidet pays for itself in a few months. Because with Hello Tushy, you don't wipe at all. You just poop, spray, dry, and go. Sanitation is simple. The Schmutz Shield offers easy cleaning, and the knobs are naturally antimicrobial. Plus, every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. And as I have stressed, their customer service is excellent. Already got a tush on your pot? Upgrade to the new 3.0 model. If you're new to the revolution, join millions of happy Hello Tushy customers right now and have a clean butt with every flush. Thank you, Hello Tushy, for cleaning my butt, for giving me this material, and for letting me make those faces happen every single time I get to talk about this product. Go to hellotushy.com/easyallies to get 10% off plus free shipping. This is a special offer for our listeners. Go to hellotushy.com/easyallies for 10% off. That's hellotushy.com/easyallies. And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. I would talk about a couple games that went away. One of them came back. One of them likely won't. But they're really interesting because these are from big companies, and these are kind of like the black sheep. Things that we might have predicted maybe we're going to have a struggle, kind of like we're like, oh, that one game is popular, and so we'll make that game. First on the list is a game called Paragon. Do we remember Paragon? Did any of us play Paragon?
Did not play it, but it was like first-person MOBA, right?
I don't think it was third person. I believe it was.
Oh, it was third person?
Definitely saw lots of character models jumping around.
But it wasn't like top down looking at a board, right?
No, yeah, this was a hardcore action game, kind of in more of the vein of Smite, but
Smite vibes.
Definitely much more of like an Unreal Engine looking thing.
Yep.
And a very pretty game, lots of really crazy character models.
My friend loved it.
Your friend loved it. You heard it here first.
My friend Brent. He plays Smite 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He also really liked Paragon.
I want to report next week, Michael Huber, on whether Brent is going to play or is aware of Predecessor.
He might not be. I'm not even.
What are
you talking about here?
There we go. Let's remember that sentiment, because that's going to be the question on whether Omida Studios can make people realize that Predecessor is a thing.
Okay.
So here's a little history lesson on when Paragon went away. So this is Epic Games. Epic Games was making a bunch of different things, including different modes of their most popular game, Fortnite, that they have since backed away from. And then realized, wait a minute, all we really need to do is maybe manage the Epic Games Store and do Fortnite, and then we're set. You know, like maybe we can experiment with other things, maybe do a mobile game here and there, but this is really where we should be focusing a lot of our development time.
They also
and
have
efforts.
some development tools that a couple people use.
Just a couple. But in terms of like the game, creation front, so they decided to step away from Paragon, but they canceled it in January of 2018, but then took their assets that they had taken to create Paragon, roughly about $20 million worth, and then offered them up to everybody that, hey, if you want to make some crazy game, get us on the phone, and then you can also make a game. There was a streamer named Robbie Singh who was a huge fan of this game, had a massive following of everybody being really excited about the development of the game and the progress that game was making, the advancements that they were adding to it. And so got together with a team. There's just 12 people at Omida. That is a demo backwards. They grasped onto this code, all of these assets, and they are bringing Paragon back and calling it Predecessor. Founded in 2020 by, this is Omida Studios. Founded in 2020 by Robbie Singh, Andrea Garella, and Stephen Milieu. Omida Studios is a London-based game studio that builds community-driven games. Its first title is Predecessor, a third-person action shooter MOBA that is currently in development for PC and console. As a studio that believes in building community first, Predecessor has already amassed an engaged audience of more than 35,000 fans on Discord and well over 100,000 signups prior to its release. Blood, whenever they talk about numbers, where were these people when Paragon was out? Like, what? It's a weird thing to be like, man, people are already interested in this. It's like, well, they already were playing it, so I don't know how many people are going to come. I don't know how much more successful it's going to be than Paragon, given that it didn't work the first time and you're calling this game something else.
But I mean, and this is, kind of how they pitched it too, but the argument isn't that Paragon didn't work. It was that Fortnite was working so well that it just cut all the weight off. We gotta get everybody on Fortnite. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the thing, that Paragon could have done fine, but they had to prioritize what their developers were doing. And so I think that's sort of how these guys feel and why they're so passionate and think that this game can work is this is a fine game. We know we can make it better. We know the game better than anybody else because we played it so much. So yeah, that's the idea, is that this game could have had more life. They just didn't have the backing to make it happen.
Yeah, and I think it's in a different spot than something like Rocket Arena or Destruction All-Stars or the Spell one we played, Damiani. Spellbreak. Spellbreak. Because those are new IPs, whereas this is the spiritual successor to, people liked Paragon. It's not like a massive game, but it was a game that had a big following. So I think kind of the number you were saying, Jones, kind of that 100,000. It's like people are just already on board before it's even out, which I think is just a little bit of a head start, a little bit of an advantage. And
not only before it's out, but before it's really had any kind of mainstream attention whatsoever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also interesting that it's members of the community who were spearheading this and forming the Omida Studios to do this, because generally communities, I think, are have a better pulse on what could make the game thrive. So I think this gives it, maybe, as you said, Blood, this gives it the best chance possible because, as you said, this game was probably fine before, just didn't get the attention it deserves. And not only is it going to get the attention it deserves now, but it's from people who, have been playing and know this game inside out. And then I think it's set up for a good shot, I think. Also, it's interesting because you said they released the assets for this. I was just double checking on this. I think another thing that makes this thing possible, very important to point out, the engine this was made on is a public engine, Unreal. Whereas I was reading something if another company was it on the VentureBeat article was referencing if EA just decided to release a Apex or Anthem open source or whatever, it wouldn't work because it's made on proprietary engine stuff, so they'd have to rework it. So this is kind of a perfect storm, it feels like, of generosity from Epic releasing that and their engine being so widely available to everyone to use. So it's kind of a nice resurgent story potential here.
Mm-hmm. And wholly unique, right, Damiani? Have you ever heard of anything even remotely like this happening, where the assets are out there where you can literally just download each character model and all that stuff and just kind of make your own, really make tiny tweaks and be all of the, the brutally hard work, that the painstaking, all those, backgrounds and, all the textures, and it's done, ready to go. Ready for prime
Taking
time.
an abandoned project and reviving it like this, I can't say off the top of my head. Usually the stories you hear like this are always about mods. Someone's already playing a game, they make a mod, that mod becomes so popular, it becomes its own new thing. That's usually what happens from my understanding. So I'm sure this maybe has happened before, but maybe not to this extent. This is probably the highest profile.
A mega grant, which Epic hands out here and there. They got a mega grant from Epic, so it was strange that they said we don't want to deal with this. What if, Huber, all of the Evil Within assets were released, and you were like, that's it. Sorry, allies, I found my calling. I'm just gonna go, and you can make your own thing.
Any way the Evil Within 3 happens, I'm there for. We just need to wrap it up. We just need one more game. We just need one more.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Put a bow on it. That's it.
Hey, shout out to our new Hitman 3 levels that just came out this week, but felt like that a little bit. We got to kind of definitely put our
That
dev
is
hats
a
on.
game, Hubert. Hitman, if they ever went under IO and they released the assets, that would be the torch would be carried for Hitman easily.
Yeah.
One thing that I like about their game plan right now is they've already had an alpha. They're planning for early access this year for Predecessor and then to ship next year. But they're just being like, hey, we are very early studio. We know a lot about this game, but we really want to make sure that it is. We are confident that it is working the way we want it to. And they added a new hero, which is fun. But in its current state, there's just one map running, and they're just trying to making sure it works. And so I like that they are starting small. And I think that gives me a little bit of hope that things are going to work out for them because they're not setting their goals way too high.
Yeah, Jones, it feels like no risk, huge potential reward. Like this feels like you were saying there's one map. It feels probably like a small team. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine it's too costly as these, they passionately work on this.
And I wonder the percentage, you have these 100,000 people that have signed up, prior to release. I wonder what the percentages of people, even just within each fan by themselves, of thinking like, yes, I love Paragon, but I almost love the idea more that like, this is ours, that like we get to, if this is successful, it's successful because of us. It's not like, these 12 people are working really hard on it, but like, I feel, I'm much more on the ground floor than this massive Epic game being like, hey, here's the Epic Studio being like, hey, here's this side project that we're working on that we just didn't have, the patience or just didn't really fit into. We weren't getting the bang for our buck that we felt we needed to. Whereas like, a 12-person team, a relatively smaller community compared to some of the bigger AAA, especially in the MOBA genre, like, it's cool.
Monetize this thing, it could blow up, just doesn't seem like too big of a risk for a potential.
Like the pride that they got to feel, I bet is pretty strong now. Even just one map, it's like, look at this, we get to make our own things. Hopefully, there's not a lot of infighting. Cool. I imagine there's a lot of opinions about how abilities should work, what characters should sound like, maybe, or curious about that new hero. Robbie Singh, who kind of kicked the whole thing off, said, I was getting bombarded by people in my community on my YouTube and my Twitter because it left a hole in our hearts when it was canceled, of course. We were really upset we couldn't play this game with our friends anymore. When they released the assets, we decided we were going to try to recreate this feeling that Paragon gave us, but in a way, we wanted to build the game. And that's like the only parallel I can draw, Damiani, is like you hear about servers coming back online, but like not from a commercial standpoint, like we just wanted to, be able to connect. Yeah. With each other. So
Battlefield 2.
Yeah. This is just to think about it, because those are just like to keep a thing alive. This is the potential to be something more than that, because it doesn't have to operate in the shadows. It's official, it's legit. So that's kind of nice. Yeah.
So hopefully that will be a success story. It's crazy to hear of these big companies, like Google not working out for them, in terms of like Amazon stuff not working out for them, and just having all this money to develop this stuff. Very curious to will not be playing Predecessor most likely. I do have to wonder though, why rename it? I get it. I know I can give you a reason why. I can write it on a piece of paper, sure, but it's like you are. As a fact, you are making it more difficult for yourself to sell this thing.
Do you think they just don't want anything?
Personally, I don't think either one of them's a good name. But
yeah, Predecessor is so weird. It's one word, so they got that going.
It starts with a P.
Is there something about like the history?
That extra syllable though.
They don't want to be like, hey, isn't this an old game that's already been out? Why is everyone making a big deal? As generous as Epic's been, maybe they're like, you just can't use the name though. Like you can do everything else, just don't call it Paragon. Maybe I just would be surprised why that wasn't actually mentioned in the reporting. If that would be an obvious question to ask. Why the name changed. So someone just need to be asked.
Yeah. Well, I think it is a fair point that if you are going to reinvent the game and change the rules to a degree, like it does help to give the game a new identity, because then you distance yourself enough from expectations, right? So and give that a chance to be seen as it is. There's another racing game, and I haven't followed it since they released the new version, but it was a Wipeout style game called Formula Fusion. And then a couple of years later, they're like, hey, you know, like this didn't meet everybody expectations, and we wanted to do more with it and like improve the technology behind it. And so they essentially took the same game and rebranded it and, you know, re-released it as Pacer. And, you know, and I think, you know, I haven't really kept up on how Pacer has done compared to Formula Fusion, but it's a similar kind of a thing towards like, let's take off all the old dust and rust and put it out there in a different form.
Nice.
Also full of dust and rust, before Valve officially canceled it this week from a blog post on Steam. Artifact, the Dota 2 card game, shipped in November of 2018. Despite good initial sales, our player count fell off pretty dramatically. This warranted a shift from the service update development model. We'd planned to do a full reevaluation of the game's mechanics and economy. It's now been about a year and a half since the current Artifact team began work on a reboot in earnest. While we're reasonably satisfied we accomplished most of our game's side goals, we haven't managed to get the active player numbers to a level that justifies further development at its time. Love that. It's not our fault. It's yours. As such, we've made the tough decision to stop development on the Artifact 2.0 beta. One of my things that I love about this statement is the very first sentence. I love that you are on Steam. You are on the Steam website. And they're like, so Artifact, you know, the Dota 2 card game, was shipped in November. You got to like remind people.
Oh, yeah.
People on Steam. Artifact?
Mm-hmm. There were like 100 people playing at early on, I remember. The player numbers.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was dead. That was a dead game.
And this is GamesIndustry.biz in November of 2018. So again, both these games kind of tanked in the same year. Both these games were we were talking about that year that were not doing well. GamesIndustry.biz reported that the game was sold for $20 with a set of starter cards, but the only way to collect more is to buy them with real money. Players can either buy booster packs for $2 or buy and sell individual cards to each other for various prizes, with Valve taking a share of each sale. He was a big fan of this method. The only way to win new cards in-game is by playing special modes and events, but these require tickets to enter, which must also be purchased with real-world money.
Barf.
There is no ability to trade cards at the moment, meaning there's no way to clear duplicates from your collection.
Barf.
So,
like, at least...
So confusing.
Wow.
Yeah, like, Hearthstone is expensive if you want to be competitive and like play more classes, but if you really just focus on one class, you can get a okay deck without really spending any money.
Suck and you're just playing it for fun, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and you can, you know, you do the challenges. You can dismantle your cards and your duplicates to really focus on maybe if you want to get one specific card, you can do that. It's just going to take you a while if you don't want to spend any money. But at least that's there in Hearthstone. You know, if you never want to spend any money, you can at least see a goal and work towards that goal. Not this. This is, you know, aside from trading with other players, it reminds me of Diablo 3. Tomiani Real Money Auction House. Like, yeah,
Diablo 3 was able to recover a little bit more
by just getting rid of that. Yeah.
I think it's something that works for something that people already love and are like really into, like, you know, like Hearthstone or like Magic Arena.
Magic, yep.
You know, like that can cost you a pretty penny as well if you want to get a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a hard thing to like come into this space and be complicated in how you're selling your game.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly, Lloyd.
Yeah, I mean that's expensive. Like you buy that $20 thing, and then what? You start buying packs. Like that can start racking up.
Ben Moore is not on this podcast, but I recorded something with him right before we shot this podcast. When we were done, he was like, "Hey, good luck with the podcast tonight." And I was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Artifact." And Ben was like, "Oh, Artifact. Oh, oof, yeah,
yikes.
Oh yeah, oof, oh yeah." It like took him a while to recover from just me putting Artifact back into his brain. But I wanted to, you know, get near the end of this conversation by bringing up Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone and just kind of like the condition to just say a lot about the generally collected, you know, trading card games. or is this just kind of the, a lot of the issues they were having? Because it seemed like there were way more issues with pricing than they were necessary for gameplay. And I had MTG and Hearthstone written down. Ben reminded me of Legends of Runeterra, which I totally forgot about, which is not, I don't know about like any massive success that game is having, but it's like a very similar thing, where it's like a company that's not known for making a card game, taking a card game out that is based on an established property, potentially asking people who are a fan of, other genres, MOBAs amongst them, and being like, hey, card game, like, have you considered possibly checking this out? And maybe kind of showing them the way to do it. I don't know if there's any other lessons to have learned from Artifact other than the pricing snafu.
The pricing and maybe just overestimating the Dota fan base, like their love for Dota proper, like willing to follow Dota to different genres. Like maybe they just overestimated that. But compared to the other ones that you were mentioning, Jones, I think this game was just dead on arrival compared to something like, Magic, which has been around for ages, so big, and Hearthstone, just cashing in on Warcraft lore, which is so beloved. So
I want to talk also a little bit. I brought this up before thematically, but it does fascinate me in terms of companies being honest about their failures and really saying, like, yes, we realized that this did not work. And potentially it's something you can say too much. One thing that amuses me, Huber, is the way Avengers talks about anything negative in terms of the game is like the feedback has been vocal.
Yeah.
Like that's one way to put it.
Passionate fan base.
Yeah, we've
so
been listening
passionate.
to you, and we want to thank you for all the things that you've said. It's like, wow, it sounds like everything's going great over there. And on the other side of that, Valve is very honest about, in a lot of the stuff that I read today, they were like, yeah, this sucked. This did not work. We had a bad plan and people hated it. And you're like, whoa, like you are being super honest. Quote, a highly polarizing and ultimately disappointing initial release. Is that kind of, is that refreshing, Huber, or from a business side? Are you like, I wouldn't be,
I mean,
can they maybe be that honest now? Because they're like, hey, now that we're done,
please,
let's just come out and say, didn't work.
I love the honesty.
Yeah.
It's good. Do that more, please. Like, just acknowledge your failure.
Yeah.
Move on to the next thing.
Offend, right? Like.
Yeah. Totally. I can remember just going through this whole thing, Jones. I can remember, because I didn't really play Artifact, but I remember when it was like kind of reshuffling. I remember hearing the interviews with the creator, and he was passionate.
Yeah.
He really believed in the mechanics. He's like, yo, our game. He's like, I really believe in the game. He's like, I believe in the mechanics. I believe in it. So hopefully we can like reorganize and get it going. But
it's really sad to see initial concept art when a game's been canceled, but that you've never seen before. It's like I go to the people publishing stories about it, and there's like some little like goblin character like with the deck of cards, like and I'm like, I don't know what you're excited about. It's not working out for you. And I don't know if I'm literally just reading also about Epic and Paragon, and then the Epic's working on Paragon, which is, has its own audience probably much more than Artifact did. But then Fortnite comes along and they're like, what are we doing? Let's just focus on Fortnite. Did Half-Life Alyx have anything to do with this? Kind of like their maybe reinvestment in another franchise? Not in terms of like the fact that Artifact wasn't successful, or them just realizing now, like EA did with Anthem, where they were like, we were gonna do something, but it's over.
Everything about this screams business. Dota is huge. Card games were huge at the time. The way this launched was all about money. Like, this was a brand manager thing, I feel like, where you have the passionate developer who believes in the game, but I don't know if that developer believed in the monetization of this, the way this was handled. Everything about it,
Hubert, it's what I always say here at Easy Allies. Believe in the monetization.
Believe in the money. Yeah.
There's
a disconnect there.
You can't just want it. You can't just crave the money. You have to believe. But complete 180, happy ending, silver lining. Final releases of both Artifact Classic and Artifact 2.0 Beta, renamed Artifact Foundry, are now available. Technically, Artifact Foundry remains an unfinished product, but most of what's missing is polish and art. The core gameplay is all there. While both games will remain playable, we don't plan to ship any further gameplay updates. Here's an overview of our final changes to Artifact Classic. The game is free for everyone to play. All players get every card for free. You will no longer be able to buy card packs. Paid players' existing cards have been converted into special collector's editions versions, which will remain marketable. Marketplace integration has been removed from the game. Paid event tickets have been removed. Customers who paid for the game will still earn packs of collector's edition cards for playing. Players who got the game for free will not. So, you know, if you're curious, if this is the first time you ever heard about Artifact, you can go check it out.
Nothing to lose.
It's just not something, that they're going to work on.
Turning it loose on the community there.
Just got to release those assets.
Now someone just needs to buy it up and change it from Artifact to something else.
It fully should have launched for free. That was $20 was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was the kiss of death, in my opinion.
Oh.
Yeah, I really do. I really think that was the kiss of death. $20, you know, because Hearthstone launched for free. It was free to play. You earn gold, you earn packs.
Right.
Like you don't even have to think about it. You just download it and play it because it's free.
Right.
Artifact, right out of the gate. 20? No, I don't even want to try that. I'm good. So.
I wonder, just something to keep in mind, you know, I wonder if this whole kind of like reskinning of assets concept would work potentially for Easy Allies. If things don't work out from a business standpoint, we just kind of sell ourselves as a package deal. You can have all of us and then just kind of generally apply, you know, if you want to go antique roadshow kind of vibes or like gardening or like something, whatever, fishing or whatever, we're game. We'll show up, we'll talk about
Antique
it.
Roadshow.
See?
One of the best things to watch at like 2 a.m.
Also this week, false emails have been circulating regarding an early access beta to Resident Evil Village. Don't
I heard about
fall
this.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, do not.
Dead
That's
inside. Don't open.
Bait.
Yeah.
Which, why doesn't that happen more?
Yeah.
I don't want it to happen more, but it's just weird that like Resident Evil, like, of all of the things. Parts of Watch Dogs Legion Online, the PC version and a mode that they were planning on releasing have been delayed. Some people can play that. People on PC cannot, and there are some modes that are not available in any of the versions. What will be available in a week, in this week, Super Nintendo World, opening Universal Studios Japan, this week, March 18th. Fingers crossed.
Scary.
You don't want
Scary.
to,
Black Widow is approaching, Jones, and it's like, theaters, dude? That's only 2 months.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to see Black Widow, but
It'll probably get like a short delay. And
Disneyland's just starting to talk about pricing. Like, there's some go to Disneyland and ride no rides but just look at stuff ticket that Amanda and I are not interested in buying at all. Totally
social
sold out.
distancing
sold out,
ticket?
sold out in minutes. Yeah, it's literally like sit on this bench ticket. You know, we're like,
what?
no, sold out, gone. You know.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Wow.
Hard to believe, but Diablo 2 will accept old save files from the original Diablo 2
That's so
if you
cool.
still got them.
And it's completely accidental. I love it.
Yeah.
There's like, hey, what if we put a save file in here? Oh, yeah, it works.
So cool. Unbelievable.
Also shutting down, but not as big as some of those other studios. V1 Interactive, which made Disintegration, is shutting down after 5 years.
Yeah.
A fire in Strasbourg, France, destroyed Rust and other game servers.
Yeah.
So it's
Whoa.
one thing if your game goes down. It's
nightmare.
another thing we can link it to like an actual
Lose your
event.
Character progress, man. They said like a whole like EU data center is like gone.
Wow.
Is
And
everyone
also, there
okay
was a
in real
fire,
life?
Damiani. I mean, your
Yeah.
game progress is one thing. Lives were in
They
danger.
said
Everyone's
no one
okay,
was
though, right?
hurt.
Everyone's
I don't think they said
okay.
anyone
Yeah,
was
it's not,
hurt.
of course.
Yeah.
Everybody's fine. Overwatch is just got enhanced on Xbox Series X and S through a new update, so that's good to see.
Jones, did you see the rumor? Series X, Arkham Knight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That there might be.
Because that's Overwatch.
Yeah. Well, just
Which reminded me of it. It reminded me of a game being enhanced for Series
Oh,
X.
okay, I get you.
There-
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like, is this a crossover
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that you're about to get to here? Batman's coming to
Yeah.
Overwatch. I was like, where's it
Hubert,
going?
did you hear the rumor?
Are you hopping back?
That I am on MinMax's deepest
Yeah.
dive in Batman Arkham Asylum. Did you hear that? I heard the rumor.
I heard it.
Already recorded
Okay,
first
I
episode,
see.
getting into the last one.
You're teeing him up.
Ben Hansen from MinMax, first time playing through all the way through Arkham Asylum. He started it, but he never
Nice.
played through the whole thing. So, holds up in his
yeah.
eyes. He's really enjoying
Hell
it. It's a
yeah.
pretty game. Mortal Shell has sold 500,000 copies, so we might get another one of those.
Really cool game.
HTC announced a new and improved facial tracker for the Vive. It's $130, probably not something you're going to rush out and buy, but it's just neat when we think about VR, we don't necessarily talk about this technology because it's not necessarily for game developers can't use it. It's not necessarily to play games. It is, if we are streaming something together, you can see my face. So if my face is animating the thing that I am playing as, specifically the lower face, your jawline, your mouth, your nose, and all of that stuff, that technology is also improving. So it's fun to see, by leaps and bounds, that stuff is gradually getting better and better, but I don't know if people are going to rush out and drop $130 on it. Juniper Research is reporting that loot boxes will generate $20.3 billion by 2025.
Tax it.
According to Kurt Margiano, the co-director of The Last of Us Part 2, doors are very hard to code.
That's according to any developer that has ever worked with a door, Jones.
Yeah,
those are
a lot of people.
Did you see that thread?
Yeah, if you find this thread on Twitter, there's a lot of people weighing in that are just like, screw doors. Doors suck.
Because Capcom makes some good doors in Resident Evil,
Great
man.
doors.
Shoot wooden doors, kick them down, they shatter.
Hey.
Yeah.
You know who people have pointed out that are not known for doors? Ubisoft. Those Assassin's Creed games, not a lot of doors.
Great call. And anytime you go into a door, it usually loads a underground temple thing or a hideout or.
You creep it into those huts in Valhalla. You're going through the roof most of the time. There's just like a little patch that just goes away. A lot of doors. And Fortnite is getting its first, quote, single-player narrative sequence in Battle Royale.
I'm going to stream that.
Which is a bit insulting. I got to be honest. As a Save the World fan, I'm a little hurt. The Fortnite fans are like, a single-player Fortnite thing? Imagine that. It's like...
It's because Save the World is just zombies, Jones, and this is everything.
It's true. It's also, from what I hear, incorporating a little character named Jonesy, who I've been playing as in Save the World ever since day one. God love Jonesy.
Jonesy.
Voiced by Troy Baker, right?
I think so.
I think it's Troy.
Yep.
Yeah. Love Troy, but man, you hear him doing his Troy voice, and you're like, it's Troy Baker. It is now time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
From JG, hey allies, in preparation for Resident Evil 8, I've been playing quite a lot of Resident Evil. I played through Code Veronica and original RE2 for the first time. Since we have Resident Evil experts Mike and Mike on the panel, I'd love to hear your theories and speculations about the upcoming game. Maybe Lady Dimitrescu is Wesker's biological mother? Anyway, thanks for always bringing the hype.
Whoa.
No.
You just played Code Veronica, right?
There's a theory.
Biological mother, dude. With the Wesker children, that would actually make a little bit of sense if her DNA or something. Yeah, I could see that. That's a fun fan theory.
Or ex-wife.
Yeah.
Wesker cells. They're like Genova cells. They're being injected into people.
The only real theory I have, I try not to get too carried away. My only theories and predictions are that this is definitely tied to old plot lines, Spencer, Wesker type immortality, early progenitor virus, and I also think like Jill and or Barry are gonna show up in the modern, snap Chris out of it,
dude.
The original Stars members.
Or
just that Stars
Sheva.
reunion, Rebecca
Sheva
as well,
to
Sheva Damiani.
So nice to see that.
Yeah. So I think there's
just
going to be
want
cool
to
connections.
see Los Illuminados being connected to this somehow because it's still Europe. Yeah.
Yes, dude. Will someone have a chainsaw? Gotta have a chainsaw.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm kind of an outlier. I kind of did. I know some people were bummed when they saw like the Umbrella logo at the beginning of RE4 when they were like, yeah, Umbrella's gone. We're totally moving away from that. I kind of dug it. I don't know. I experienced so much of that and kind of, it made me feel lonely, Huber. It made me feel like distant. It made me feel really in the weeds where I was like, oh man, this is uncharted territory, folks. Like, who knows what's going on here? Because it's like, Umbrella and these other characters don't have, the monopoly on being weird, creepy tech people. It's like, I want to see like an old evil. Like
Well,
I would hate to think that this kind of old blood stuff that we're seeing is going to be undermined by like all these new weirdos that have been doing stuff for the last couple decades. Like,
totally.
I'd love it if it's like some ancient messed up
That's
stuff.
That's what I think of Spencer and the Ashfords, because like Umbrella, really, when you think about it, is just a tool. It's just a front for these puppet masters, Spencer, Ashford, Wesker, pulling all the strings. So that's exciting. I just want to see some werewolves, want to see some silver bullets. I'm so excited.
Yes, dude. We know what's happening. You know what's happening, Huber.
Yeah.
Huber, did you just see Netflix confirm the voice actors for RE2 Remake will be voicing the roles of Leon and Claire in the movie or Netflix series? Sorry.
Infinite Darkness.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
Wow.
So excited. Yeah, and they said that all the announcements are going to begin on the 25th anniversary, which is the 22nd for the Japanese release. So look forward to that day. They said a whole bunch of announcements will kick off during our 25th anniversary throughout the year. But that seems like the start. So.
And that new poster for the movie. Which is like total
sick.
nerd bait, has all the names.
Cool cast.
Literally, the word when you see Wesker, like just the text, it's like, low blow.
Dude, I'm loving
this,
the cast.
Like, this is gonna lead into DLC for RE2, Huber. Watch, it's still
Yeah.
coming. There's still DLC coming.
Bowser's Fury style, dude. Wesker's Fury.
How would that even work? Oh my god. Yeah.
From James Davey, what is your favorite video game child? I assume many will go with Clementine from The Walking Dead, Ellie from The Last of Us, or Atreus from God of War, but I personally find Oliver from Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, to be my personal favorite because he behaves like a child should. He's so honest, polite, sweet, endearing, courageous, and sees the best in everyone. Shout out to the two kids from Costume Quest. They rule in both of those games. Shout out to the kid from Inside.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Not often you see a kid just get mauled by dogs. Like, whoa, okay.
Do
The little brother
teenagers-
from Brothers.
Young Link's
shout
a
out.
good kid.
Do teenagers count as kids?
Sure.
Could depend.
Everyone in Life is Strange?
Sure.
Oh.
Everyone?
I was I'm blanking on the names like a dummy, but the Plague Tale. That was one of the things that really like
Tail.
came across to me with the little brother that like.
Henry? Maybe? I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
But he really felt kind of authentic to me. Like he would just get distracted by things, or he wouldn't understand like why do we need to run, or it's just there was just something very sweet and pleasant about that little boy.
Hugo.
Particularly towards the beginning. Hugo, there you go.
Hugo.
Hey, nice. As long as we're talking about Resident Evil, RE7, shout out. She was great.
Helen and Param.
What's happening?
Evelyn?
Final Fantasy 4.
Oh.
Little kids, little mage kids.
Oh, but yes, of course.
Oh,
And
yes,
Rydia
yes.
was also Rydia. There was a lot
Rydia. Yeah.
Lot of-
Rydia is great.
There were a lot of kids with way more power than they could handle running around that RPG.
Yeah. Unleash.
That's a good question. Young Link?
Yeah, I said, Young
You
Link,
said that?
dude.
Yeah.
Young Link.
Yeah.
Good kid.
From Matthias. Dear allies, last week you participated in a game featuring Dance Dance Revolution, which I enjoyed a lot. I myself am a big fan of rhythm games and even went so far as to purchase handmade controllers to play titles. They're mostly featured in Japanese arcades. Games of this genre try to draw you in by having crazy control schemes and ways to play them, some of which are impossible to recreate in a console port. And because I want to share some of these games with you, I have prepared this game. I will describe the controller of a rhythm game and to you, and based on this, you have to guess whether those are real or fake. Oh, I also present the possibly made-up name. Example, Taiko no Tatsujin, which we are all familiar with, a game played with wooden sticks and big Japanese drums that can be hit on the membrane or on their sides, which is real. Hope you enjoyed the game. Look up some footage of the stuff. Some of these are wild. Have a great day, Matthias. Ubeat. The whole thing is a big cube with a matrix of 4x4 big push buttons on top. Each button contains a small LCD screen that fills up until it needs to be pushed.
Isn't that that's like the
This is gonna be
David
a lot
Buster?
harder than I thought.
Isn't this real?
Real.
You're asking me? You say real or fake, Damian.
No, it's
Make
a good
guess,
fake one.
man.
That's fake. It's fake.
Okay.
Fake.
I'll say
Oh,
real
I thought
because
Huber,
have
you had
no idea.
like you
No,
knew
no, no.
definitely.
Huber
Gotta
knows
get
what the hell
something
he's talking
real
about.
because I've
I don't know
seen
what the
something
hell
like
I'm saying.
that.
It's real,
But I
baby.
don't know if
Damn
what?
it.
It's real.
And it's I think it's pronounced U-beat, but it's Jubeat. Jubeat.
Okay.
Looks like Jubeat might be U-beat. Waka. The arcade cabinet looks like a giant speaker with a porthole-sized screen in the middle. The whole membrane consists of touch panels you need to swipe and push while playing.
Fake. It's a Final Fantasy X character.
It's true.
I'm gonna go with fake. I don't.
Real.
It is real. Danny
Wow.
Barberth, yeah. These were all.
It was just such a complicated description. Like, how could you make this up?
None of these are easy. My DX. That's MAI DX. The whole arcade cabinet is shaped like a big washing machine. The drum is a circular touchpad with 8 big buttons placed around it. My
There's no way.
DX.
I'm gonna go with fake.
It's gotta be fake.
It sounds close. The DX, I
Please.
think, is trying to
Yeah.
trick you. Yeah.
There's
fake.
no way that could be real, but
There's
it
no
is.
way. Wait, it is?
My DX. Go get it.
Oh, wow.
my
Yeah,
God.
look 'em up.
Okay.
Look 'em up. MAI,
Oh.
capital D, capital
Okay.
X. On Geki, in the center of the cabinet is a big lever that moves from left to
This
right.
is fake. This ain't fake.
3 buttons are on each side next to this lever. 2 large buttons are positioned in the inside walls of the cab to also be hit. It doesn't mention what the lever does.
Fake.
On
I know it's
Geki,
real, but I'm saying
Fake,
fake.
fake.
I'm saying fake, and even though I know it's real.
It's real, baby.
Oh my God.
I love that you both said fake. Euro the beat. Euro as in euro, the currency in Europe. The game has no haptic controls and is played akin to Kinect games. You have to mimic moves from the Japanese dance style para para.
Oh, because we're gonna list para para because I know
I'm
that
gonna say
game.
this is real.
Euro the beat. Blood's not even guessing. That's not
I've
real.
said
That's
fake on
fake.
every
Yeah.
single
I'll say
one.
fake.
Well,
Fake.
Go
keep
fake.
saying fake because that one's fake.
There it is. Thank God.
Bashi Tantrum. The arcade controller is an almost closed big ring you stand inside of, and it
Real.
features a touch-sensitive surface. It also doubles as the screen.
Real.
Bashi Tantrum.
Real.
Real.
It's fake. You guys are
Oh,
Damn.
okay.
I wanted that one to be real. It sounded cool.
This is so satisfying. Rigikaku Throwdown. It is a
Please be real.
Rigikaku. Might be Rigikaku.
Throw down.
Probably
It
real.
is a
Let's go.
sit-in cabinet shaped like a mech cockpit. Please
Oh yeah, please.
Make it real so we can
I
go see
have
it
to
someday.
believe. Yeah.
be real. 2 big analog joysticks with triggers and 4 metal pedals.
Drift compatible.
Nothing about this sounds outrageous. Let's say
Jaeger.
It's real. Yeah.
It's so
Real.
fake.
Damn it.
Oh,
Damn it.
please make this game real.
Rigikaku.
Steel Battalion's more complicated than
I
that.
know. Chunithm. Chunithm. Like rhythm, I get. Chunithm?
Chunithm, sure.
The controller is it looks like a piano featuring 16 touch panels. On the side are infrared sensors to determine the height of your hands, which you raise or lower in addition to hitting notes.
These are really well written.
Sounds cool.
I just want to say that.
Chunithm.
Is it real?
These are super well written.
Sounds cool.
Fake.
Sounds fake.
It's real, Damiani. You could go and play this game right now
Here
if
we
you
go.
want to. I don't know what country you could play it in. Shamizthrian. Shamiz, Shamis, the number 3, and then N. Shamizthrian. It's basically Guitar Hero, but with the Japanese shamisen style controller.
Ah.
That sounds real.
True, real.
Yeah, real. Hey, come
Oh my
on.
God.
Come on.
I've gotten zero.
Cease this.
Completely
I've got
fake.
0. Yeah.
Completely fake. Yakuza the Karaoke EX. The controller
Please be
looks
real.
exactly like
Please
the
be real.
Project Diva controller. 4 big buttons featuring the PlayStation controller icons and a horizontal touch slider. But the cab represents an old school Japanese bar with the screen in the top right corner.
This
Fake.
feels like
Say bait.
Easy Allies. Easy Allies bait. Fake.
It's bait. Yeah, it's fake.
There we go. You tried. You tried on that one. You couldn't get them. That's fake. Dance Rush Stardrum. I don't know if stardom is spelled wrong or if it's literally stardrum. Dance Rush, also one word. It's like Dance Dance Revolution, but the dance pad is a giant touchpad, allowing track moves like Running Men and Melbourne Shuffles.
This is fake.
Isn't
That's
this,
real.
It's yeah. I think,
Melbourne Shuffles.
is it real? And it's like the Just Dance type stuff, I thought.
Damiani, have some confidence, man. You can't ask, is it real? You have to say real or give me an answer.
I said real. That's it.
It is. Dance Rush Stardrum. Might be Stardom. I'm not sure. Google that on your own. And finally, Sound Voltex. The controller is the size of a small DJ deck, features 4 big and 2 small buttons in the center, also 2 knobs on each side akin to a volume control. Sound
Be real.
Voltex.
It's real.
Real.
There you go.
say
It's confidence. Real.
Ending on a win. Congratulations, gentlemen. That was real.
Brutal.
That was tough.
That was well written. Well done.
I need like
Great
images
game.
of those.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
Concept art.
Yeah, concept art for
Yeah.
stand in a ring one. I want it. Drift compatible. I want
Yeah, dude, I need the throwdown one.
Just in case. For everybody at home, do
Can you
not
imagine?
look up or try to find Euro the Beat, Boshi Tantrum, Rigi Kaku
Send me-
Throwdown.
Send
Dude.
us
Shaman
fan art.
3N.
Send us fan art of that on
And-
Twitter or something. We'll feature it on Mike and Mike.
The next one?
Yakuza PX, yeah.
The back one,
fan art
Damiani,
of
when you're co-oping, when you're both doing well, the animations are like fighting the kaiju. It's like,
Like Puzzle Fighter. I want Dawn to draw all of these. Mm-hmm. It's time for bets. Next week's bet, Marvel's Avengers launches Hawkeye's campaign Future Imperfect and its Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 versions next Thursday, March 18th.
High stakes.
High stakes.
Big moment.
When we record this
Big
podcast that night, how many likes will the last tweet from @PlayAvengers have? Now, this is not a retweet. This is not a reply. This is a homegrown tweet from this Twitter account. They tweeted things, 2 different things, 7 hours before we started recording this podcast. One of those got 1.9 thousand likes. The other one got 93. So this could be a lot. Could be a range here. Michael Damiani, how many likes is that going to have?
I'm going with 1,100.
Okay. Michael Huber.
2.1 thousand.
Whoa! Okay. I hope a lot of people play Avengers, but now I'm kind of hoping no one really
Well, I
shows up
think
on this tweet there. Or maybe it's the unpopular tweet. Maybe they're just like, hey, you like that purple outfit for Hawkeye? And everyone's like, dude, next. Like, hopefully they're tweeting a lot that day. Blood, what's your bet?
Well, I'm thinking that they might be tweeting a lot that day. I'm saying 153
Oh.
because it's just a newer tweet.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 6 hundo from me. So, yeah, hopefully we're on the lower end.
You notice like I avoided those round numbers this time after last week.
You did.
I'm nervous about this, Jones. It's exciting in a way. Hawkeye, next gen, but like, I already know I'm going to install it, play it, and beat it, and then
Right.
uninstall it.
That's fine.
There's no like Diablo 3 adventure mode or like a reason to keep playing and engaged. It's just, I'm nervous.
It's not that kind of game. But it's still around. It's no artifact.
Sure.
Last week's
Sure.
bet, Watch Dogs Legion launched online for most on March 9th, 2 days ago. I wanted to know, what would the viewer gap be between Watch Dogs Legion and Grand Theft Auto 5? I want to specify, because last week I said Watch Dogs Legion Online and Grand Theft Auto Online. Those aren't the games that are showing up on Twitch. It would be Watch Dogs Legion or Grand Theft Auto 5. Which is so funny to see that Grand Theft Auto 5 box art. It's like, wow, lots of people playing this GTA 5 there. Like, it's not 5 they're playing. When we started recording this episode, Michael Damiani bet 400,000. Ian Hank bet 315,000. Bloodworth also bet 400,000, and I bet 220,000. Watch Dogs Legion has 85 people currently watching that game being played.
My gosh.
Grand Theft Auto 5 has 304,000, or at least did right at the beginning of recording this podcast, putting Ian super close to that number at 315,000. So, wow, they're getting that win there. And since Ian's not around, Huber's going to get that win for the podcast, bringing our scores to Jovial Penguins 8. Vociferous Beavers 3.
Nom, 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 nom.
But I feel good about next week, Blood. I'm feeling good. That'll bring us to half of their score if we get that win. Let me tell you about patreon.com. Silence. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies, folks. Hey, guess what? In 2 weeks, we're going to be 5 years old.
Yeah.
The end of this month is the 5th anniversary of the creation of Easy Allies. We are an entirely crowd-funded We have our crowdfunding, our Patreon revenue is a part of our revenue, but all that revenue comes from people checking out and enjoying the content that we create. But we are primarily funded because of our thousands and thousands of patrons on patreon.com/easyallies. We are calling our event EasyX Digital 21. You can go to patreon.com/easyallies if you want more information about that. There will be a lot of exclusive content coming out of that you can only check out on Patreon. And of course, we will be doing a fundraising event that week, starting on the 22nd through the 25th, Monday through Friday. We're going to be streaming a lot. We're going to be announcing a lot of fun stuff. And we are going to be incentivizing people to donate in various ways. But a wonderful way that you can do that is to go to patreon.com/easyallies. You will see lots of outside of EasyX 21, that event, you will see lots of exclusive stuff there already that you can get for just $1. Our top tier, we're going to be shaking up our tiers too. Our top tier on Patreon right now is our shout out tier. And we are going to be shouting out the people at that tier. Blood, you're going first. I'm going after you. Damiani, you're going third. And Huber, you are wrapping us up at fourth. Shout out to Caleb Togi Crawford, Edgar Senpai Black Clover, L. Fanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Stephen Thomason, and Nick.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Michael Huber.
Yo.
Via Ian Hink, you have won this
Sweet.
podcast. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign-off.
Cool. The first thing is Huber Syndrome. Check it out. Brittany from What's Good Games on there. Dawn with a behemoth of an edit. Captured so many Resident Evil games. Really just a fun episode all the way around. And we're already penciled in for Village. So round 2. She's like, yeah, set aside 3 hours for that one. So we're going to settle in. Things I agree with, or just want to reiterate, Shredder's Revenge hype.
Yes.
Beyond excited. The Teenage Ninja Turtles, that is so many people's childhood right there. It's in good hands with Emu. So very, very excited. And final sign off, 5 years. All because of you. Getting emotional, like choked up just thinking about it. I can't stress enough how grateful I am, how grateful we all are. I can speak for us all. The only reason we're here right now is because of you. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Love and respect. Scumbug! Dude, I think I have this one!
Not so fast, Jack.
Just Ninja Turtles, man. I don't know.